Most people think retiring at 50 in Thailand is simple. Hit a number, get on a plane, and your life just gets easier. And to be fair, it can work, but only if you actually understand what you're walking into. Because retiring at 50 here isn't just about having enough money. It's about where you live, how you live, and what the money actually gets you day to day. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to retire at 50 in Thailand in 2026, but more importantly, what that life actually looks like in reality. We'll break down the real numbers and then compare two of the most popular places, Hua Hin and Pattaya, because the same budget can give you completely different life depending on where you are. Before we get into the money and the lifestyle, you need to understand something first. You don't just move to Thailand and stay. There are rules, and if you can't deal with them, this probably isn't going to work long term. If you're 50 or older, you can apply for a retirement visa. On paper, it's simple. 800,000 Thai baht in a Thai bank account, or 65,000 baht a month coming in. That's kind of the baseline. But the part people don't think about is this. You have to maintain it. You've got yearly renewals, bank requirements, health insurance, and 90-day check-ins with immigration. And sometimes it's not quick or convenient. You might be driving out to immigration, waiting around, just to confirm you still live here. For some people, this is no problem. For others, it can get frustrating fast. And this is where people start to realize this isn't just a cheap place to live, it's a system you have to fit into. The reason a lot of people look at Thailand around 50 is pretty simple. They've done enough, they've worked for 20, 30 years, built something, and they start thinking, do I really want to do this for another 15 years? And when they look at the numbers back home, it doesn't look great. So Thailand comes into the picture. Lower cost of living, better weather, slower pace, and suddenly retiring at 50 looks possible. And to be fair, for some people, it really works well. But here's where things start to split. Because retiring at 50 isn't the same as retiring at 65. You're not winding down. You're still active, still social, still living a full life. Which means your spending doesn't drop as much as you think. And this is where a lot of people get caught out. They come here thinking, I'll live cheap, slow down, keep things simple. But the reality looks more like this. You go out more than you expected, you travel more than you planned, you use aircon more than you thought, you eat out more than you would back home. And slowly your cheap retirement starts looking a lot more like a normal lifestyle. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when your budget doesn't match it. Because the guys who make this work long term aren't the ones chasing the absolute lowest number. They're the ones who understand how they actually live, what they actually need, and where that lifestyle fits in Thailand. Some people are genuinely happy living simply. Others say they are until they get here, and that difference matters a lot more than people think. So before we even get into locations like Hua Hin or Pattaya, the real question is, what kind of lifestyle are you actually trying to build here? Because once you understand that, the money part becomes a lot clearer. So let's get into the part everyone really wants to know. How much do you actually need to retire at 50 in Thailand? And more importantly, what does that actually feel like day to day? Because this is where a lot of videos get it wrong. They give you numbers, but they don't show you the life behind those numbers. So at tier 1, around 50,000 baht a month, on paper, this would work, and you can live in Thailand on this. But here's what it actually looks like. You'll probably be not right on the beach, more like 10 to 20 minutes away. A small studio, maybe 12 to 15,000 baht a month. Fan some of the time, but aircon used carefully. Your day is simple. You wake up, maybe grab a coffee, eat some local food, chicken, rice, noodles, street food. You're not going out much, maybe a cheap bar, few beers, nothing crazy. Transport is a motorbike or shared taxis, and if everything goes smoothly, it's fine. But here's the problem. There's no margin. One hospital visit, one visa issue, one unexpected cost, and suddenly you're dipping into your savings. That's where this level starts to break. So yes, it's possible, but it's only really comfortable if you're disciplined, you're flexible, and you're genuinely okay living simply. Tier 2 at around 65,000 baht a month. This is where things start to feel stable. And for most people, this is the real starting point. Now you're closer to the beach, a decent one-bedroom condo, 20 to 25,000 baht per month, aircon when you want it, you're not thinking about every meal, you might grab a coffee in the morning, eat Thai food most days, mix in Western food a few times a week, your day feels normal. You can go out a bit, maybe a few drinks, maybe a meal out, maybe a short trip now and again. You're not counting every baht, and that changes everything mentally. But even here, there's a catch. This level works well as long as you don't drift, because what happens to a lot of people is they arrive planning for this lifestyle and slowly move into the next one without realizing. Tier 3, 80,000 baht to 100,000 baht per month. Now you're comfortable. No real stress about money. Better condo, regular cleaning, gym, maybe a car, more travel, more nights out, more Western habits. Life feels easy. This is where Thailand really works well. But here's the danger even at this level. Because everything feels cheap compared to back home, you start saying yes to everything. More meals out, more drinks, more convenience, and suddenly you're not saving anything. You're just living a Western lifestyle in a different country. So the real takeaway here isn't just the numbers, it's this. The same budget can feel completely different depending on how you live and where you live. Because 65,000 baht in one place does not give you the same life in another. And this is where location becomes everything. Let's start with Hua Hin, because this is where a lot of people end up. When they want things to feel easier, Hua Hin isn't trying to impress you. It's not fast, it's not loud, and that's exactly why a lot of retirees like it. A typical day here is pretty simple. You're up early, it's cooler, quieter, maybe a walk along the beach, maybe a coffee somewhere local, nothing rushed. You do your errands late mornings, markets, supermarkets, maybe a quick ride into town. Afternoons are slow. You're inside more, aircon on, maybe a swim, maybe just relaxing. Then evenings are easy. Dinner somewhere local, maybe a drink, maybe just back home early. And that routine suits a lot of people more than they expect. Because after a few months, you stop looking for excitement and start valuing consistency. At around 65,000 baht a month here, you can live very comfortably. Nice one-bedroom condo near the beach, regular eating out, aircon without thinking about it, access to good healthcare, and importantly, you're less tempted to overspend. There's less pull here, less nightlife, less pressure to go out, less distraction, which for a lot of retirees is exactly what keeps their budget under control long term. Hua Hin works best if you like routine, don't need consistent social activity, prefer quiet over busy, and are happy with a smaller, slower environment. A lot of couples do well here. A lot of solo retirees who don't need a big social scene also settle here long term. But this is important. It's not for everyone. After a while, some people start to feel it's too quiet, not enough going on, same places, same routine. And if you're someone who needs variety, energy, people around you, Hua Hin can start to feel a bit small. Not bad, just not the right fit. So, Hua Hin gives you stability, routine, and control over your spending. But not everyone wants that. Some people want the opposite. More going on, more people, more options. And that's where somewhere like Pattaya or Jomtien comes in. Now let's look at Pattaya and Jomtien, because this is a completely different experience. Where Hua Hin is calm and predictable, Pattaya is active. There's always something going on. Restaurants, bars, gyms, social clubs, people everywhere all the time. And for a lot of people, especially at 50, that is a big part of the appeal. A typical day here can look very different. You might start your mornings at a cafe, proper coffee, Western breakfast, gym, walk along the beach, chat to the same group of expats you see most days. Afternoons are flexible. You can keep it quiet or head out. And that's the thing with Pattaya. You always have the option to do more. Evenings are where it really changes. You can go out for dinner, meet people, have a few drinks, stay out late if you want, or just ignore all of it and live quietly in Jomtien. That flexibility is what makes it attractive. But here's where most people get caught out. On paper, it's not that much more expensive than Hua Hin. You can live on 65,000 baht here, but in reality, most people spend more because it's easier to spend. More meals out, more drinks, more taxis, more just one more night. And it doesn't feel expensive in the moment, but it adds up fast. A lot of people come here thinking, I'll live the same as I planned, and within a few months, their lifestyle has shifted. This is the key difference between Pattaya and somewhere like Hua Hin. Pattaya tests your discipline. Hua Hin helps you stay consistent. Pattaya gives you more options, but those options cost money. Pattaya and Jomtien work best if you like being around people, you want a social life, you enjoy having things to do, and don't mind a bit of noise and energy. A lot of single retirees do well here. A lot of people who don't want to feel isolated also prefer it. But again, this is important. It can go wrong if you're not careful. If you don't track your spending, you go out too often, or treat it like a long holiday. This place can drain your budget quietly, and it happens more than people admit. So, Pattaya gives you energy, social life, and more options. But it also comes with more temptation, more spending, and less natural control. So the real question becomes, where does your lifestyle actually fit best? Healthcare is the part a lot of people underestimate. Everything feels cheap until it isn't. A simple hospital visit might cost a few thousand baht, no problem. But something more serious, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 plus baht, and it happens fast. So most people end up with insurance. At 50, you're probably looking at around 5,000 to 8,000 baht a month for decent cover. and that number only goes one way over time. Now, some people try to skip it. They think, oh, I'll just pay cash if something happens. That works until it doesn't, because one proper medical issue can wipe out a big chunk of your savings. So the way to think about it is simple. Healthcare isn't optional. It's part of your monthly cost. And if you ignore it, it's usually the thing that catches up with you later. So when you put all this together, where does retiring at 50 in Thailand actually work? If you're around 50,000 baht a month, it's possible, but it's tight. You'll need to live simply, stay disciplined, and accept that there's not much room for mistakes. For some people, that's fine. For most people living long term, it becomes difficult. At around 65,000 to 80,000 baht a month, this is where things start to make sense. You've got a bit of freedom, you're not constantly thinking about money, and places like Hua Hin or Jomtien become very realistic options. This is where most people settle comfortably. At 100,000 baht and above, you're in a different position completely. Now it's not about can I afford it, it's about what kind of life do I want. More travel, better healthcare, more flexibility, and importantly, more margin if things change. But the biggest takeaway is this. It's not just about how much money you have, it's about how you actually live. Because the same budget can feel easy or feel tight, depending on the lifestyle and where you base yourself. And this is the part most videos don't say clearly enough. This doesn't work for everyone. You shouldn't be doing this if your income isn't stable, you're already stretching your budget, or expecting life to feel like a permanent holiday. Because it won't. And if you're someone who struggles with slower systems, gets frustrated easily, or needs constant comfort and familiarity, this lifestyle can wear you down over time. Thailand rewards people who adapt, not people who expect everything to feel like home. So, can you retire at 50 in Thailand in 2026? Yes, you can. And for the right person, it can be a very good life. But it only works properly when you understand what it really looks like day to day. Not just the numbers, the lifestyle, the trade-offs, and where you fit into it. Hua Hin gives you something calm and predictable. Pattaya gives you something more active and social. Neither is better, they're just different. And the people who get this right are the ones who choose based on how they actually live, not how they imagine they'll live. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Can you do me a massive favor and press the subscribe button? Really helps the channel. Push it to people like yourselves who want to retire in Thailand. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you on the next one.